Hey, it's a digital edition of MLB Central coming to you on a Friday. Lauren Shahadi, Mark DeRosa, Robert Flores. D-Row, wall-to-wall coverage the last 2 days of the draft on the network. What were your biggest takeaways?
Roflo had me locked in. I know Mark Capalbo, our producer for MLB Central, locked that down. HR, Dan O'Dowd. I love the Tim Corbin angle, the coach of Vanderbilt. He's recruited probably 90% of the guys that were picked yesterday, so he's seen them and had great insight on them. The takeaways for me are watching their reactions with their family and friends. I mean, it is just such a special day. And to see kind of the tears and the emotion and everything that goes into it. But a couple guys stood out for me. I love the Asa Lacy kid from Texas A&M. He went 4th overall to Kansas City. Dayton Moore's the GM, drafted me back in '96. So I always keep an eye on what he's doing. The Zach Veen kid. Love the Ed Howard pick for Theo Epstein, the Chicago Cubs. So just the emotion of all of it. But I was dialed in from start to finish.
And I loved hearing our commissioner say there will be baseball 100% this year, which means we might be back on the crushed red velvet soon, which means we got to get in game shape. Gentlemen, I'm talking about believe, don't laugh, or make believe. Are you ready on a Friday? I'm going to give you a headline. You tell me if it is plausible in 2020 as a newspaper headline. You ready? First one. Nolan into St. Louis. We've heard whispers of the Cardinals and the Rockies doing a deal for Nolan Arenado months in the making. Will that happen? Believe or make believe? D-Row, you first.
Make believe for me. Make believe for me. This is why you back up the truck. For a guy like this, charismatic, one of the best players in the game, puts fannies in his seats, can help the younger player. I just feel like, man, it would be a huge, huge mistake on Jeff Bridich's part to part with Nolan Arenado unless you're going full rebuild, and I just don't think they have to.
Yeah, it's make-believe for me as well. And also, I think if you recall, before things were shut down, it sounded like the temperature in the room had cooled a little bit between Arenado and the Rockies. So I think that's a – and I'm with you, D-Row. I would just hate it for the fans to see the face of the franchise just so quickly after signing an extension, he shipped off to somewhere else. So hopefully that doesn't happen. That's make-believe for me.
And I always go back to what John Mozeliak said last year. He said, as currently constructed right now, I feel like we're good enough. So perhaps he feels the same way right now. Next headline. Finally, Twins beat the Yankees in the postseason. We spoke with Josh Donaldson a couple months ago. He's so excited about what's going on in Minnesota. With possible realignment, this question is much more interesting. D-Row, believe or make believe?
You know why I potentially believe it?
Why?
No fans. No fans in Yankee Stadium potentially. Because if there were, I would say make believe. Until they slay that dragon in Yankee Stadium, I'm not buying it. But in an environment that we're in currently, when they get back out on the field and with no fans in the stands and able to concentrate, it's going to give a different feel. So they might be able to squeak by.
I think you're swaying Robert's opinion. I see him thinking up there. What do you think?
I still think it's make-believe. I mean, the other thing that we also have to consider is, you know, the Yankees had so many injuries that they were dealing with, guys that were rehabbing or had just been injured. And now this whole time, I think they come back healthy. Paxton figures to be healthy, Stanton and Judge. So it's the full complement, the full arsenal for the Yankees. And I still think with that being equal, I think that they're a tad bit better than the Twins.
At some point, Lauren, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo are going to go bananas together. It's coming.
At the same time.
At the same time. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
It's true. Yankees have won the last 13 postseason games against the Minnesota Twins. The price was right is the next headline. David Price, along with Kershaw, Buehler, and Mookie Betts, and that stacked lineup leads the Dodgers to a world championship. What's that? Like that's –
I mean, I have not done a full analysis of Major League Baseball to make this decision today as we sit here.
Well, that's when the question's being asked today. Believe or make believe? You've had 6 months to answer.
I'm going to believe it because I do think that the Dodgers are like one of 4 teams that could potentially win the World Series. I mean, they are absolutely stacked. I love David Price. I don't think he gets enough love for what he can potentially do for this rotation. Mookie Betts, Bellinger, Gavin Lux now in the fold, Corey Seager back healthy. I mean, there's just too much firepower for us not to think that they're going to go back to the World Series.
Yeah. I do think that David Price is going to I thought he was on track for an outstanding season anyway before things got shut down. I think he's going to be very prideful coming into this season, but I don't think it's going to be the Dodgers that win. It was my pick that the Yankees were going to win it all, and it's still my pick that the Yankees will win it all.
You know, I covered the Red Sox a couple of years ago, and every single person on that team raved about David Price and what a teammate he is. And he's proven it already, $1,000 to 220 different minor leaguers in the system. He's probably met 10 of them.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
And just to shout out, because David Price, like, I've heard the same thing, Lauren, and you nailed it, but Sin-Soo Choo for the Texas Rangers did the exact same thing. So I want to give
that's good.
him some love too, because that's stepping up.
It is 100% stepping up. I love this headline. MILLAR light, if you will. We all know D-Row's obsession with celery juice, even though it's a less good version of celery. If Kevin MILLAR adopts this morning routine, he will lose inches and never wear a shirt again. Believe or make believe, Robert. What say you?
I mean, I can believe that. I think if the real 1-5 gets focused, gets on track, gets into a regiment, if you will. I could definitely.
A couple of weeks ago, he is not focused and not regiment.
Okay, well, so it's still I do believe it.
Okay.
This is strictly make believe. This guy has way too many vices in his life. He's staring down heart disease. There is no way he reverses course and starts doing celery juice. He is 100 miles an hour until it's over.
That's a good way to live life. D-Row, you told us that you can't keep weight on with celery juice. I was like, excuse me, where do I sign up? Quite a statement. I leave you with this. D-Row, fresh off one of the top 10 moments in his life, which was what?
Winning the member with my boy. Top 10 moments. I mean,
wedding, kids.
Hey, this was a 13-year grind for this.
Oh, we miss you, D-Row. The only thing we don't love about Studio 21 is what? The clutter on the desk. You know what I'm saying, Robert?
Yes.
Like the pens.
Yes.
All the different stuff going on. So we will redecorate Studio 21 with D-Row's member trophy. Believe, make believe. Toughest one yet on a Friday.
If you guys will let me bring it up there, I will proudly display that thing.
Absolutely. I mean, we definitely need to have it. I mean, we've got all sorts of just random pieces of knickknack in that studio. So let's get something. Yeah, absolutely. So bring it on in.
The shoe.
The shoe.
Lauren, you come on. All the clutter is yours.
Stop that on the double.
Shoes, lip gloss, Halls wrappers, Jolly Ranchers wrappers.
Right.
What else?
Right.
Halls wrappers. Never had a haul in my life, Judgy Wudgy, number one. Number two, the Diet Dr. Pepper cans thrown about. That's my co-host.
That it's not a can, it's a bottle.
Robert Schmores.
He did get into a bad habit last year, late in the season. He was going like bacon and mushroom omelet.
Like 2 seconds to air.
Oh, that couch has so many trapped in there. It's ridiculous.
Bring the trophy. We're redecorating. We're taking over. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Stay safe. We will see you Monday on MLB. Bye.